Come, Nerevar, come. Witness the tier list of Skyrim betrayals. Yes, Nerevar, the quest-writing prowess of Bethesda and Emil Paglachubo, included one major element into a lot of Skyrim quests is betrayal. Nerevar, there are so many Enwas and even Enwa Dunmer that betray you in Skyrim. While I enjoy a betrayal here and there, like in Morrowind or Oblivion, it is in a somewhat healthy amount. Skyrim has betrayals in every major quest line. That is a little bit excessive, Nerevar. Before we begin, please don't forget to raise your thumb, subscribe to my sermons, and write on the parchment down below your own rankings on this tier list. We, of course, begin with the most egregious betrayal in the main quest. It is the moment when the Enwa Sweets, Delphine and Esbern tell the Dragonborn that he has to kill Parthenax for the simple reason Parthenax was a dragon, and because of that, he was evil. While I share the point of view of certain farm tools being unworthy of existence on Nirn, I find this betrayal of Parthenax absolutely meaningless. He is the leading opposition figure against the dragon invasion and the false god Alduin. The Blades did not do anything for the Dragonborn in his battle against Alduin, and they demanded that Parthenax be slain so that the Dragonborn could join them. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. F-tier betrayal. Stupid and meaningless. Parthenax, the farm tool dragon himself, betrayed Alduin because he did not share his violent ways, and was more into the way of the voice, peaceful Nord, Greybeard, and Wa teachings. He helps the Dragonborn fight and defeat Alduin, the World Eater. Of course, he claims to have overcome his evil nature and is now working to get all other dragons to follow the way of the voice. Honestly, this is some B-tier betrayal right here. Not too classy, but also not too idiotic as it is with the Blades. Next is Astrid. We have talked a lot about Astrid and her simp club that she pretends is the real Dark Brotherhood before. Suddenly, the Night Mother, Cicero, and the Dragonborn appeared, crashing her little tight-knit world. While bringing on the Dragonborn into her family was her fault, she definitely did not expect the addition of Cicero and the Night Mother. After a few successful, significant, and insignificant contracts, including a crashed wedding and a betrayal that I will talk about shortly, the Dragonborn communes with the Night Mother, becoming the listener, and he is given a contract by Armand Motier, eliminate the mongrel dog emperor Titus Mede II. Of course, during the first attempt, while the Dragonborn pretends to be the Enwa Gourmet, he gets ambushed by Commander Maro after the body double of the Emperor keels over and perishes. Surprise, surprise, Astrid betrayed the Dragonborn. She attempted to make a deal with Commander Maro, which spectacularly fell through as Maro ended up destroying the Falkreath Dark Brotherhood sanctuary. She eventually became the charred Black Sacrament in an ironic twist of fate. Honestly, the execution of the betrayal was F-tier. The tomfoolery here is too much. Staying on the topic of the Dark Brotherhood, the mongrel dog Cicero rightfully rebelled against Astrid and her simp club. He tried his best to eliminate her, but the farm tool Vizara prevented this from happening, leading to Astrid eventually betraying the Dragonborn. Cicero had the right idea, but the execution was not the best. However, I will give him the A-tier because it's a very straightforward betrayal. We move on to Muri, the Breton Enwa who hired the Dark Brotherhood to take revenge on Alain Dufont, who ruined the relationship between Muri and the Shattershield clan. While her grievances with the Enwa Alain are justified and do not constitute a betrayal, her desire to kill Nielsen Shattershield definitely counts as treason. While the Shattershields kicked her out, it was because of Alain Dufont's actions. Nerevar, let me know it is a betrayal on the parchment down below, and raise your thumbs and subscribe to my sermons while you are at it. Anyhow, going back to Muri, I believe her ask the Dragonborn to slay Nilsine Shattershield is an egregious act and quite cold. Tova Shattershield also buys a one-way scroll to oblivion because she loses both of her daughters. Honestly, I am almost proud of her cunning nature, but she can never be as cunning as a Dunmer. Nevertheless, I will give this betrayal the A tier. Alan Doofus, on the other hand, heard about the passing of Frigga Shattershield and romanced Muri due to her connections with the Shattershields. He robbed them and blamed Muri for it. While no one perished at first, this betrayal was a disaster for Muri and the Shattershields, and Alain himself. Alain and his posse had no idea that they were going to get wiped out by one of the most powerful beings in Skyrim. F tier, incompetent and idiotic betrayal. Next is Mercer Frey. What can I say about this Enwa? He stole the skeleton key and emptied the coffers of the Thieves' Guild. He tries to blame Carlia for all the troubles of the guild, and then he betrays the Dragonborn. Of course, as with anything, betrayal and Dragonborn, he was also not up to the challenge. The Dragonborn and Carlia teamed up, taking him down. D tier, incompetence. Nerevar. He didn't get the F tier because it only led to his demise and not the whole faction like in the case with Astrid. Nerevar, as you know, the Argonian farm tools make up an insignificant portion of Skyrim's population. But like Khajiit farm tools, they are responsible for most of the crimes. I have my sources, Nerevar. Anyhow, surprisingly though, the scaly farm tools are also extremely treacherous. Jarira, a farm tool that wants to rob an Imperial mongrel dog ship, makes the Dragonborn put of a light in the lighthouse. He then sends the Dragonborn to his sister Dija. Unbeknownst to the Dragonborn, however, these farm tools hatched a betrayal scheme in order to avoid paying out the reward. Needless to say, Jarira and Dija are now swimming with the fishes. F tier for an incompetent betrayal execution and for being farm tools. Now, Arvel the Swift is a Dunmer, but he is also an Enwa, so he does not represent the Dunmer of Morrowind. He is just a random thief stuck in spiderwebs in Bleak Falls Barrow. Quite the predicament. Well, once the Dragonborn rescues him, he runs off with the Golden Claw. Of course, he does not get far. If you betray the Dragonborn, your chances of survival fall dramatically. F-tier plan. Is this how he honors the Sixth House and the Tribe Unmourned? Unworthy to be a Dunmer. We have another farm tool named Beamjaw that betrays his Enwa Redguard companion Salma during a treasure hunting mission in Ironbind Barrow. Salma's father rightfully does not trust Beamjaw, who turns out to be a traitor. Now, Nerevar, while he is farm tool, his plan could have worked if it wasn't for that meddling Dragonborn who decided to tag along and defeated the master of the dungeon warlord Gathric. Honestly, this could have been a C-tier betrayal. I do not understand, though. Why do these traitors decide to go against the Dragonborn after seeing that Enwa cruise through a dungeon? F-tier for not being observant and for being a farm tool. Well, the Glenmoral witches betrayed the companions by turning them into werewolves and taking away their humanity. The companions, with the help of the Dragonborn, defeat the Glenmoral witches, and, well, once again, a betrayal leads to the Dragonborn wiping out the whole coven. D-tier betrayal, boring and uneventful. Next is arguably the most treacherous being in Skyrim. That is also the exterminator of traitors, the Dragonborn. Every decision the Dragonborn makes is an act of treason. Joins the mongrel dogs, betrays them. Joins the Stormcloaks, betrays them. Joins the Dawnguard, betrays them. Does any Daedric quest, betrays either the Daedric prince or the person aiding them against the evil of the Daedra. Kamatu and Saedia betrays them both. Nerevar, the betrayals of the Dragonborn require a tier list of their own. If you would like a tier list and a sermon on the betrayals of the Dragonborn, write, "The Enwa Dragonborn betrayed me," on the parchment down below. Don't forget to raise your thumbs, subscribe to my sermons while you are at it. It is difficult to rank the actions of the Dragonborn objectively, but the sheer amount of betrayals does call for the S-tier ranking. Next, we have the Enwa Vampire Harkon, the leader of the Voikar clan. Nerevar, we have discussed him numerous times, but he is definitely an idiotic character and a horrible traitor. He betrayed his daughter by trying to use her for the Elder Scroll that she had, and for her blood, as she is a daughter of Cold Harbor, and by proxy betrayed his wife by trying to achieve the prophecy of the sun. He is a failure of a vampire, Enwa, and a father. Oh, and when Serana and the Dragonborn confront him, even if the Dragonborn decides to give him Auriel's bow, guess what? Harkon commits the worst mistake possible. What does he do? He still betrays the Dragonborn. What a fool he is! Needless to say, he is slain by the Dragonborn and his own daughter, which brings him down to F tier for sheer incompetence. What can I say about Ancano? He is a Thalmor, who is never actually a part of the college. He does not like the Dragonborn in the same way that Snape and Voldemort really don't like Harry Potter. When the whole Eye of Magnus debacle happens, Ancano tries to manipulate the Eye to his whims. Savos Aran, of course, attempts to stop Ancano, only to be flung away by the sheer power coming from the Eye. I covered this incident extensively. Definitely an Enwa Altmer. With a mean streak, no one saw this betrayal coming. Honestly, though, Nerevar, once again we see a case where the Dragonborn gets betrayed, and the traitor is put in the F tier. Oh, also, they are slain. Next on the list is the bonehead Enwa Ulfric Stormcloak. And Nerevar, you might slightly disagree with my ranking here, depending on the fact if you support the mongrel dogs of the Empire or not. I believe that Ulfric is a quadruple traitor. He betrayed the Greybeards by abandoning the way of the voice. He betrayed the people of Markarth during the Markarth incident, and finally he betrayed King Torrig, where instead of fighting fair, he used the power of his Thu'um and utterly destroyed him. And finally, after that, by organizing the Stormcloak Rebellion, he betrayed the mongrel dogs of the Empire. If the Dragonborn does join the mongrel dogs, Ulfric is slain, but if the Dragonborn joins him, he is victorious. Nevertheless, the amount of betrayals and their somewhat mixed success earned him the A tier. He is not as prolific as the Dragonborn, but he is somewhat competent in the art of treachery. Next is Miraak, and well, Nerevar. Miraak is both a traitor and the betrayed. Hermaeus Mora is not on this list because he doesn't exactly betray Miraak. Rather, he takes revenge on him for Miraak plotting to betray him. Miraak, being the first Dragonborn, used to be a dragon priest and a leader of the dragon cult during the Merethic era, but he betrayed the dragons and defeated Alduin, creating a long line of Dragonborns. Even the Skald remember him as the traitor, because he worked with Mora to overthrow the rule of dragons. While the betrayal when it comes to Alduin is impressive, the betrayal of Mora is quite underwhelming. For this reason, I give Miraak the generous B tier. Calixto Corium is the Butcher of Windhelm, who claimed many Enwa victims in the city. He is the subject of a Nordic detective drama, which involves, you guessed it, the Dragonborn. Now, with the Dragonborn being involved, he would surely confess to his crimes and not betray the traitor slayer, right? Right? Wrong! What a grand and intoxicating innocence. He lies to the Dragonborn about his identity, pretending to be a witness in the case. As a result, an innocent Enwa gets imprisoned. However, the Dragonborn finds out about the betrayal and sends Calixto with his curiosities to the F tier. Oh, and also he is slain as a result, but you already know this, Nerevar. Now the next two are interesting, and not as significant as you might think. There are two Daedric princes who directly betray the Dragonborn. After completing all the fetch quests for the Mehrunes Razor and getting rid of the mongrel dog of the Empire who tried to revive the mythic Dawn, Mehrunes Dagon introduces another challenge to the Dragonborn: two Dremora Lords. While the Dragonborn handles the challenge, that was definitely a C-tier betrayal. Of course, there is also this whole Sanguine quest, A Night to Remember, when the Dragonborn has a night of debauchery after ingesting a drink given to him by a shady fellow innocuously named Sam Gavin. While Sanguine did play a prank on the Dragonborn that led to some fatal outcomes, it was not exactly a betrayal. Therefore, he was not slain. Also, he is a Daedric god. How can you kill a god? I would put this in the C tier. Well, Nerevar, that is the end of this tier list. Stay tuned for more sermons. I am surprised there are no Khajiit farm tool traitors. If you enjoyed this sermon, please honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned by raising your thumb, subscribing to my sermons, and writing on the parchment down below. Thank you to all 6th house members and patrons for funding the operation of the 6th house across Tamriel. I would like to thank the adoring fan Connor Runda and the current Sharmat Tanya Davis for your unwavering loyalty during these less productive times.